right now, there aren't a lot of people that are changing from, converting from Christianity to Islam as there was in the 1960s. And so Muhammad Ali did it, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did it. And you know what happened then? People kept calling them, in this analogy, their dead names. Because why? They wanted to offend them.
Right.
Because they kept calling Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay. They did that on purpose thousands of times. Because they're like, how dare he not be a Christian anymore? And the point was to offend him. And when you dead name trans people, you're trying to offend them. And then you pull the move of like, oh, I don't know why they're taking offense. Okay, look, you could actually make a perfectly fair point and say, look, I think it is offensive, I think it's wrong, but I don't think you should get banned for it. That's my point. I actually believe that, right? But don't tell us that you don't get it.
They get it.
Of course you get it. You're just trying to be the victim.
100%. I mean, there is nothing more obvious in this day and age than people who really have nothing to be aggrieved about, putting themselves in a group of the most aggrieved people in the country, right? Like, women have their reproductive rights stripped away from them, and all you hear from right wingers is, I can't dead name. People are asking me to be a decent human being. I don't like it. Like, stop crying. Like, the crying is unbearable. Like, they look down their noses at communities of people who are being brutalized and persecuted in this country, and they like mock them as if they're not being brutalized and persecuted, and then they put themselves in the position of being persecuted. You're not persecuted, Kim Iverson. You're not even qualified for the job you have, and yet here you are opining on what's happening in politics when you're not qualified to do so. Literally one of the dumbest people I've heard in the news. Yeah. Like, it blows my mind that the people over at the Hill are like, no, we really nailed it with her. Nailed it.
Doesn't matter. I mean, look, there's 2 against 1 there, but it's still
and she got dunked on hardcore. Like, easy to take on 2 idiots at once.
Okay, so one more thing about Muhammad Ali. Reporters would constantly call him Cassius Clay because they wanted to offend him, and Muhammad Ali would not answer their questions. Why? In a sense, he was doing what Twitter was doing. If you're gonna call me the wrong name because you wanna insult my beliefs, well then I'm not going to answer you. I'm gonna act like you don't exist because you're acting like I don't exist, right? And so I think Christianity oppressed my people. That's why I switched to Islam. That's my belief, Muhammad Ali said. So if you call me by my given Christian name, that is deeply offensive to me. So I don't need to be nice to you when you're trying to hurt me. That is a very fair point, and it actually does apply to the trans community. And right now, everybody on the, not just the right wing, everybody, rich person, every person in the world is like, I'm so tough. I beat up on the most disadvantaged community. I'm so brave. They have no power to push back at all. It hasn't hurt me at all. In fact, it's helped me with all my sales. I beat up on trans people for a living. I don't understand why they're so upset.